Hey guys, welcome to my realistic explosion tutorial. A realistic explosion should look something like this. Start off, you're going to want to grab your footage and drop it into the new composition. That way it makes a composition the size of your footage. Then drop in your Action Essentials 2 explosion and get it all positioned right, or trimmed up. And then once you have that, size it up, and then you're going to want to toggle switches / modes and set the mode to screen. Then position your explosion. And what I like to do is erase the first few frames of it just to make it look like it really explodes fast and just sudden. So it looks much better like that. Try it out. But then you're going to want to apply a glow effect to it. And then adjust the radius of it once you position your scrub marker to where you can see the whole explosion. So adjust the radius of it. I put it up to about 200 usually, and bring the intensity down or up depending on what you feel like. And then we have something that looks like that. Now we're going to be creating an environment effect. So create a new solid, make it a orangish color that matches your explosion. Once you have that, make it comp size and label it effect or environment effect. I couldn't think of what to label it, but label it light. Then you're going to turn the viewing mode of it off. Get the ellipse tool and make a big circle bigger than your explosion. About twice the size. About maybe a little smaller, but once you have that, adjust the position of it and the size of it even more if you need. I couldn't figure out how to adjust the size of it here, so I look stupid, but I do figure it out. So anyway, adjust the size of it. Turn the viewing mode on and bring the opacity down to about, well, we're going to be creating keyframes, so press the stopwatch next to the opacity and move the keyframe one frame before the explosion happens, and you're going to want to set it to 0. So yeah, set it to 0 just before. And then once the explosion is fully expanded, it should be, or close to fully expanded, it should be at about, for this scene, it's about 16%. And then back to 0 once the explosion starts to fade away. So once you turn the viewing mode back on, it should look something like that. I bring in the keyframes a little closer, I believe. And you're going to want to turn up the feathering a lot. A lot. Now adjust the length of the solid so that it starts just when you need it to. Then apply a hue and saturation effect to the explosion and mess around with it till you see what looks good so that the explosion fits your scene. And so that looks about good right there. And now I'm bringing up the feathering a lot more because you really need the feathering to be a lot, otherwise it doesn't look quite as good. So I bring up the feathering a lot, and then I apply a bulge effect to it. No, wait, no, I don't. I pre-compose all the layers first, and then pre-compose them, label it explosion, hit OK, and now, this is where it gets tricky. Apply a slider control and press Alt-click on the position on the pre-composed footage you just did. Now type wiggle, open bracket, 18, comma. Now grab the little pigtail thing and drag it up to the slider control. Now put a closing bracket and a semicolon. Then click off of that, and now you should, you still won't have a shake effect, so go under the effects tab, under your pre-composed footage, and just before the explosion happens, set it to 0. You're going to have to press the stopwatch, so just before that, set it to 0. And then the next frame, when you see the explosion, set it to about, I believe 15%, or is it 50? Yeah, 50%. And then about 15 frames after it's at 50%, you're going to set it down to 0 again. So right about there. So now you have a camera shake effect. Now if you want to get rid of the black edges, you're going to up the scale on the footage up to about 110%. And there you go. You have camera shake, explosion, and a effect. Anyway guys, I hope this tutorial helped, and if it did, make sure to leave a like, rating, and a comment below. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more awesome stop motions, tutorials, and VFX. So make sure to do all that, and I hope it helped. Peace out.